Hey guys, welcome back. This is another update video for TerraFirmaCraft Plus. So the turnaround on this update's been a little faster than the previous one. So I hope you guys are happy about that. But let's talk about the new things in this update. So this update is, I think, some quality of life stuff, as well as maybe some some new things that aren't as great. But let's start with these fibers here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have sisal, flax, and jute. If I press right click on that, we can make rope out of it. So that works with all three of these. It used to be just jute. You can make jute and sisal. You can make rope out of. You can also do it with flax. I think the old recipe in the crafting table still exists, but I don't expect anyone to really use that anymore. I don't think it actually exists for flax. I think the new way to get rope is just going to be right click with 5 in your hand. That's way more simple, doesn't require crafting table, so I think that's a pretty good start. So yeah, let's just make a bunch of that, because we are gonna go up if we can. I'd like to get up high to the top of the cliff area here. Oh, can we get up? Nope, that's not gonna be a way to get up. Okay, this way. And I want to get over to the area that was, like, I guess, hanging over where we were before. Is there like a steeper part? Alright, this looks good enough. Okay, so I'm actually going to make a crafting table here. We're going to start with these sticks. We're actually going to do that to make a bundle of sticks. You can use that as like stick storage. That's, I think, more convenient. But what we're actually going to do with it is do this with our rope, this with our bundle, and that's going to give us a rope ladder, or 32 of them actually. So if I'm going to hold shift and just click on the edge of the block, you can see we have a rope ladder descending down now. So let's just climb down. And you'll see that took us right to the bottom. It doesn't have to be on the side of a block in order to use it, and we just jump up. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom in case you want to... I'm sorry, pig. You're stuck in a tree. In case, you know, there's like another ledge or something and you want to put another ladder here. It does require at least a height of 2. Like I couldn't like put one here. It's not going to work, but I could do it over there because there's at least a space of 2. You'll notice it does also consume a ladder for the start ladder up here, the anchor ladder, and then one for that. If I just right click, I can pull that all back up. So let's climb back up to the top, and we can look at what else you can do with these ladders. So if I hold shift, I can take the ladders back one at a time as opposed to grabbing them all back at once. If I have more rope ladders, I can add them down until it gets down to as far as it'll go, which I think is actually going to be all the way to the bottom instead of just stopping one early. But let's just pull those all back up. So yeah, I think this is a really convenient item to have. It'll make cave exploring a lot better. You know, when you have those like straight vertical shafts, going over mountains a lot easier. You can't place them from the bottom up like you technically could with ladders. You can only go from the top down. But I think that there are a lot of situations where maybe you want to check something out, so you have some rope ladders with you when you go adventuring. You can climb down, come back up, grab all the ladders up. You don't have to leave them behind. So I think it's a pretty convenient use for rope. Let's talk about the next thing on the agenda, which is torches. Yeah, well, I'm just going to clear an area here. Let's make a fire. So we'll just throw those to the ground, light that up. I can't I can't put any sticks in there because that is not how we make torches anymore. In fact, we're actually going to need to get some resin. Alright, so we take our resin, take a few straw. You know, that would normally be the primitive bandage recipe. But we add a stick to it, and we get this extinguished torch. Previously, these blocks were not obtainable as an item, and this would just happen when your torch burnt out because it ran out of time or it was raining or something. So we craft these extinguished torches, and I can right-click on the fire to light it. So in terms of, I mean, like resource-wise, that's a bit more expensive because instead of 2 torches per stick, it's now 1 torch per stick plus a resin plus a piece of straw. Although in terms of speed of lighting them, way faster because you're not putting them in one at a time. I do realize though that this change does kind of get annoying if you're just sitting there whacking the tree, hoping to get resin out of it. So there is a better way of doing that. I just want to get rid of that. Anyway, let's take a look at that. So if I can actually see the tree here. So if we right click on the block, we can see that we put the knife into the side there. And if we just wait a little bit, give it some time, should actually be about 25 in real world seconds, which is a half hour in game. In fact, we could, oh yeah, so it'll drop some resin. If you put a barrel or a vessel beneath it, it'll be able to catch the resin, but you can set a bunch of these up. It is going to consume a durability on the knife each time it gives you a resin, but you could, you know, have a bunch of trees and have a bunch of these knives set up collecting resin. If you don't have a vessel or barrel, you know, as long as you come back every 5 minutes to collect any that's dropped on the ground, you'll be fine. But yeah, so it's like a way that you can collect resin without actually being there standing around collecting resin. You could have something like this set up overnight, and you know, you'll come back in the morning, there'll be a bunch of resin waiting for you. One thing to note though is that if it's raining and this is not protected, as long as there's only 1 item stack in here, it will start filling up with water, and then it won't be able to collect any more resin. So try to keep that in mind. You know, put it somewhere where it's a little more protected. I'm not sure. I think this might be protected here because of these branches. But yeah. So let me actually, sorry about that, move that around quickly. So yeah, we've covered resin harvesting. Actually gonna take this back because we're gonna put that over here, and then we're gonna take our empty honeycomb. Let's grab 8 of it, and we're gonna put it into our vessel here. It says output wax, so just give that a bit of time. I think it's gonna be, I think it's like 2 in-game hours minimum that it requires, plus the heating. Make sure that there's enough fuel. Incidentally, we can also burn bundles of sticks. It's a little better than, it's not better than burning 9 sticks. I mean, it burns a little hotter. In terms of burn time, it's not longer than, or the same length as 9 sticks. But of course, you don't have to micro it. So if you have tons and tons of sticks, you can burn them in a fire like this. So we'll just give that some time. Yep, collecting more resin. One more thing to note about the torch, I guess now that we have it. If I place it down, you'll notice it's throwing off sparks, which is not what it used to do. And in fact, it can, yeah, set blocks on fire now. So keep that in mind. I think as of this update, when you update, all existing torches will extinguish themselves just the one time. And when you try to light a torch for the first time, if you haven't broken it and replaced it since the update, it will give you a message that tells you that you need to, just tells you that it's going to burn stuff down. Just in case someone doesn't read the changelog or hasn't seen this video, I thought that would be necessary. People pointed that out in Discord, that might be a thing. Other thing is, we extinguish the torch and break it. We do get it back. Previously you wouldn't have. Let's check on this. Yep, okay, so that's melted. So, we have our wax, have some string. It gives us a candle. We could also use jute fiber. We could also use wool yarn. We could also use cotton yarn or linen string. I think sisal works. Yep, I don't think flax fiber works. It wouldn't make any sense if it did. Yeah, because that linen string works, so I wouldn't have made flax fiber a thing. So we can collect these candles and we can put them down. So that is what that looks like. You can light it just like you would a torch. It is not as bright as a torch is. Torches are actually a little dimmer than they used to be. It's not quite as bright as a torch, but it does last longer. This will last twice as long as a torch, just like torches. Candles do not run out of fuel. They just go out after a few days. If it's raining, it'll also go out. So yeah, if we try to place this on the side of the block, it's not going to go there. You know, you can't you can't just go placing this wherever you want. What was I going to say from this point? Yeah, but there is something we can do about that, if you'll excuse me. So, what are we going to do about the fact that candles can't be put on walls? Well, we will take some clay. We will start going along the bottom. You can see we have this clay candle holder mold. We can also go like that. We get a double candle holder mold. And we can go like that and get a triple. So you fire those just like any other bit of clay. And then we can cast into them brass into the single, sterling silver or silver into the double, and rose gold or gold into the triple. So let's just grab these. We are gonna, let's grab these. Let's get some more candles. Unless, well, I don't know. Let's just start with let's just start with what it looks like. So there's a lit brass candlestick, which we made by combining our lit candle. So we can place that down. Looks like that. Looks quite nice. Pick it up again. We can place it on the side. So that's what it looks like there. So this will burn longer than the basic candle does. As you can see, you can put it on the side of blocks. It does have a hit box, unlike candles and torches. Let's actually, well, let's now grab a bunch of candles. So let's just grab these. I'm sure, yep, you guys saw what the other candles look like, but just for the sake of it, let's just, doesn't really matter where you put the candles, as long as you have 3 candles and the candle holder. Let's just make them all. Obviously you do need to have them in separate stacks. Alright, so we have the sterling silver, rose gold, gold, silver, and the brass. What was that? Oh, that was... Okay, I gotta take that back. That was the resin. So yeah, brass is like the kind of the tier 1, where the regular candle is like tier 0. Then we have sterling silver and silver, kind of the same tier. Silver is a little better than sterling silver in terms of brightness and how long it lasts. rose gold is the same brightness as silver, but it lasts longer. And then gold is maximum brightness, and I believe it lasts the longest. So the basic candle will last for twice as long as a torch will, whatever your config says how long a torch will last. The brass candle, I believe, will last 25% longer than that, and then I think it's like 50% longer for the sterling silver, and then 75% for the silver candle, and then I guess, I don't know, I think it's like 2 times for the rose gold and 2.5 times for the regular gold. So and that's 2.5 times as long as the basic candle. So the basic candle is already twice. So I think what that means is that the or if my math is correct here, the gold candlestick will last 5 times as long as a torch. I believe the default for torches is 2 in-game days. So the default for the lit gold candlestick here is 10. And also it's, I guess, it's brightness level 15, which is maximum. So that is also nice. So I hope you guys will use candles in your bases. I think they look quite nice when you put them on walls. I hope that rope ladders will prove pretty useful. One last thing we should talk about while we're here, just because it goes with these changes. I guess we could grab some pumpkin shell, because the last change is knife pumpkin candles. So that makes this unlit jack-o'-lantern. So as you may have guessed, so that previously was torch. Now it is not torch. It also requires knife. Jack-o'-lanterns used to be an unlimited source of light. They are actually, I think, not quite as bright as they used to be. Let's just light these up. So yeah, you can turn them on and off now. But they will, I think they last longer than a regular candle does. They're actually, I don't think they're as bright as a regular candle, just because, you know, like the light should technically only be coming out of the eyes. And, you know, real life jack-o'-lanterns are not a great source of light. They are, however, naturally immune to rain, so they won't go out when it's raining. So if you want to think of them as kind of like a really kind of not so great lantern, like real, you know, lantern, you know, water resistant, you know, able to water resistant, lasts a little longer than a candle, not quite as bright, but if you're just looking for a little bit of outdoor illumination, they would be pretty useful. So yeah, I think in the future I will be adding like proper lanterns and stuff out of different metals. I don't know if that'll be like iron or brass or whatever. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy these changes. It is kind of like a nerf to torches, I guess. Kind of, I think just we'll call it a change. Maybe it'll make your house a little darker in the early game. You'll have to light it with a fire pit instead of a torch. But you know, then it's not going to be that long before, you know, if you have a few beehives going, you'll collect enough wax and you can start making candles. And then things will be great. Alright, okay, so, anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and I'll see y'all next time.